There are some people who naturally grab attention the moment they walk in. Even in their absence, people talk about them with respect. They don't need to dominate anyone to earn honor. Their presence, their confidence, their attitude does it all. Such a person is fearless, bold, and admired by the world. They add so much value to others' lives that people begin to depend on them. They are great storytellers. They can hold a crowd with just their words, and they shine with confidence wherever they go. Becoming such a strong person has always been my wish, and with practice, I achieved it. You can too. How? By mastering these 7 habits. The very first habit is being mentally strong. But what does mental strength really mean? It means building the 4 C's inside you. 1. Control. Not of the outside world, but of your own mind. 2. Commitment. Whatever you decide, you follow through, so your brain starts believing in you. Yes, I do what I say. 3. Challenge. How often do you step up, face fears, and develop the warrior mentality? 4. Confidence. Acting even with doubts, learning fast, and staying calm where others panic. Understand this. More than 95% of pain in life is felt only because we are mentally weak. In reality, the outside world is never that painful. But when we are weak inside, we magnify the pain. That's why many intelligent, talented people fail. Not because they lack skill, but because they lack mental toughness. Amy Morin, a well-known author, wrote an article called 13 Things Mentally Strong People Never Do. And it changed the way millions think about resilience. This is one of the most famous articles on the internet. Over 7 million people have read it. Back in 2015, I also made a video about it. The article is called 13 Things Mentally Strong People Never Do. Here's what it says. They don't waste time feeling sorry for themselves. They don't give away their power to others. They don't fear change. They don't complain about things they can't control. They don't worry about pleasing everyone. They don't fear taking calculated risks. They don't dwell on the past. They don't repeat the same mistakes over and over. They don't resent other people's success. They don't give up after the first failure. They don't fear being alone. They don't expect the world to owe them anything. And most importantly, they don't expect immediate results for everything they do. Now, let me ask you, does this sound familiar? Have you ever given your time to someone or something and later regretted it, thinking, I wish I had used that time for something better? That regret is a clear sign of being mentally weak. But mentally strong people are different. They know exactly where to give their time, which conversations to be part of, which projects to join, and when to simply say no. They understand their boundaries of control. That's why they don't waste time in regret. Mentally weak people often live with guilt. They keep thinking, I wish I had done this. I wasted my time. If only I had chosen differently. But mentally strong people don't live with such regrets. They always have a clear answer, yes or no. Go or don't go. Eat or don't eat. That clarity comes from being mentally strong. One of the greatest examples of mental strength is found in the eagle. An eagle has the power to live up to 80 years, but to reach that age, it must take a very tough decision after it turns 30. Why? Because by that time, its claws grow weak and can no longer catch prey. Its beak becomes bent and dull, and its wings grow heavy with thick feathers, making it difficult to fly. At this point, the eagle has only 2 choices: either accept death or go through a painful process of transformation. What does the eagle choose? If it wants to live, it must climb to a mountaintop and stay there for 150 to 160 days. There, it strikes its beak against the rocks until the old beak breaks off. When a new beak grows, it uses it to pluck out its old claws, and when the new claws appear, it pulls out its heavy old feathers. After months of pain, renewal, and transformation, the eagle finally gets a brand new life, a fresh start that allows it to fly high once again. The eagle's claws, beak, and feathers all grow back new. This painful journey of 160 days gives the eagle a brand new life. When the rainy season comes, most birds hide in fear, but the eagle rises above the clouds. That's why the eagle is considered the best example of resilience. Another inspiring story is that of Terry Fox. He was diagnosed with cancer and had to have his leg amputated up to the knee. But even with an artificial leg, he began running a marathon. Not for fame, but to raise money for cancer research. At first, people ignored him. Donations didn't come. But Terry kept going, running 40 kilometers every single day. He ran a total of 5,577 kilometers across Canada. By the time the cancer spread too far and he was forced to stop, he had already raised $1.8 million. And by 1980, his efforts had raised $25 million for cancer research. There are countless other examples. Steve Jobs, who rebuilt his career after being fired. Albert Einstein, once considered a failure in school. Anthony Albanese, who rose from humble beginnings to become a leader. And J.K. Rowling, who wrote the first draft of Harry Potter on scraps of paper when she couldn't even afford proper stationery. The world is full of proof that mental strength is what makes the difference. Strong people fight through every challenge. As Sylvester Stallone said in the movie Rocky, it's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Elon Musk once said, "I had enough capital for 3 rocket launches." That meant even if I failed 3 times, I was prepared to keep going. For mentally strong people, failure has a completely different meaning. Thomas Edison famously said after thousands of failed experiments, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that don't work." That's the spirit of mental toughness. They face 20 rejections and still keep trying. And then comes the next quality, attention. Think about the person who captures everyone's attention when they speak. You'll notice they are fully present. They don't keep checking their phone. They don't look here and there. They don't interrupt with irrelevant anger or impatience. Instead, they truly listen and speak with focus. Strong people know how to speak with full attention. You must have heard this. Remembering someone's name makes all the difference. And it's true, but that only happens when you give undivided attention while talking. Imagine this. You're handed a suitcase with 1 lakh rupees inside, and you'll only get to keep it if, at a party or an event, you can remember the names of just 7 people. Would you try harder to remember? Of course, this proves one thing. Our brain has the capacity, but most of us simply don't pay enough attention. A strong leader or a mentally strong person knows about people deeply. Memory champion Ron White once said, "People don't forget names because of memory problems. They forget because they weren't really listening in the first place." When someone tells you their name, you often forget it within seconds. Not because your brain is weak, but because your focus is weak. That's why the world needs people who listen with full attention. And when they speak with full presence. So what can you do? When you meet someone, give them your whole energy. Put your phone on silent. Don't listen just to reply. Listen to truly understand. Repeat their words back. It shows you are listening. Repeat their name during the conversation. It helps you remember and makes them feel valued. Now let's move to the next point. Strong people know how to connect with anyone. Many people struggle to talk to strangers. Some freeze when speaking to the opposite gender. But conversation is one of the most powerful tools in the world. Every person you meet is like opening a new book. Every conversation is like reading a new page. And as you connect with more people, your mind builds a worldwide web of knowledge. That's the power of communication. It can start wars or stop them. It can spread unrest or bring peace. It can win freedom for nations or push them into slavery. Remember this, every close person in your life today was once a stranger, and every love story starts with a simple conversation. Marriage begins with a simple hello. Every founder who built a huge company with a partner started with just a conversation, just a hello. That's why your first conversation matters so much. Making a good first impression is easier than you think. Just be real. Be confident. Don't try to memorize lines or act perfect. Be yourself, including your flaws and mistakes. Even Shah Rukh Khan does this. He acknowledges his imperfections and mistakes, but presents them confidently, showing, "I am human too." Every person you meet is an opportunity. Do you grab it or let it slip away? If someone tells you, "Don't talk to this person or that person," then most founders wouldn't have been able to build big companies together. Strong people build connections. Strong people create networks, and networks grow when you communicate well. So here's your takeaway from this video. If you want to talk to someone, just say it. If you see someone and want to start a conversation, just go, "Hey, how are you?" Don't wait. Don't overthink. You might think, "What do I even say? What if I say something wrong?" Maybe you want to start a conversation, but the words get stuck in your throat. Here's the truth. Just say it. Whether it becomes a long conversation or a very short one, nothing bad will happen. The worst that can happen is nothing. When you start talking, you open the first
page of a brand new chapter in your life. There's knowledge and experience offline that you can't get online. Every first word you speak creates a path for the conversation to flow. If you stop after just 1 or 2 sentences, that's your choice. But if you continue, the conversation can lead anywhere. Now about speaking in English. Many people hesitate because they think, the other person speaks English so well, I don't know if I can keep up. But it doesn't matter. What matters is starting the conversation. Focus on connecting, not on perfection. Many people think English is a very difficult language. But here's the truth. You will only learn it if you start speaking and practicing. It's actually very simple. Just like you learned Hindi, you can learn English the same way, by speaking, not just reading books or watching videos. Yes, watching movies or chatting in English helps, but to really speak fluently, you need to practice actively. You need to put yourself in an environment where people speak and listen in English. And here's one way to start. Take an English diet. This isn't just about gaining knowledge or information. It's about adding value. For example, if someone tells me, "You explain things so well," then next time when I write or explain something, my quality automatically improves. That person has added value to my life. Even if you don't know something, it only takes 1 minute to find out on Google, and then you can share that with someone. Suddenly, the other person feels like a huge problem has been solved. Maybe it's finding a place, a recipe, a gift idea, a tool, a software tip, anything at all. Powerful people consistently add value to others' lives, and when this becomes a habit, it naturally shows up in their work and their interactions. Look at any successful person. They all have one habit. They constantly want to do something for others. Jeff Bezos wanted people to order books from home and have them delivered. That simple idea started Amazon. And today, you can get almost anything online. Elon Musk started with creating paper, then Tesla, then electric cars. He has created multiple revolutionary products for humanity. Their way of adding value is simple. They want to change people's lives for the better. My personal favorite, Steve Jobs, did the same with Apple products. He added immense value to people's lives. When you genuinely focus on adding value, it not only helps others, it also helps you. You experience fulfillment when you help someone. You discover your potential, what you can give, what you can teach, what you can improve in the world. And sometimes you can even build a business around that value. Before starting my own projects, I used to hear friends say, "You really understand things well." That inspired me.